Summer routines live or die by how easy they are, and honestly, if something takes too much effort, I'm out. That's why Groons is my go-to. It's my one daily pack of gummies covering my greens, vitamins, and minerals. Plus, it has 6 grams of prebiotic fiber, which is more than 2 cups of broccoli. No mixing powders, no giant pills, no hassle. I just rip open the pack and I'm done. They taste good and they make it easy to stay on top of my health, even when life gets busy. Save up to 52% with the code PODCAST at Groons.co. That's code PODCAST at GRUNS.co.
It's the Go Gopher Podcast with Mike Grimm, episode number 87. I am Mike Grimm, voice of the Golden Gophers, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm so excited to welcome back to our Go Gopher Podcast one of our all-time favorites. He was with us in the middle of last season and couldn't have been more fun. Well, now he's got a bigger role this season, and you're going to love hearing from kicker Dragan Kesich, the kid with the big foot and the big personality. Buckle in for some great conversation from the guy who booted the game-winning field goal on opening night. We'll find out about it. Our Go Gopher Podcast is presented by alumni-owned Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. If you're a business founder planning to exit your business, start by contacting Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. Sunbelt serves more businesses up to $5 million in revenue than anyone, and True North M&A serves companies with revenues up to $150 million. Get a confidential, no cost, no obligation business valuation started today. Make the most of your life's work. Visit sunbeltminnesota.com or tnma.com today. Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions, led by the great Brian Slipka. They are servant leaders. Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union is also a big sponsor of our Go Gopher Podcast. Life math is complicated, and Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union makes it easier with local financial experts available to help in person or virtually. Learn more at affinityplus.org/Go Gophers. Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union also sponsors our player profile, and thanks to them, we have Dragan Kesich here in our podcast. We're also thrilled that Cub has joined the podcast as a major sponsor as we're now rolling with football season. Join Cub, the University of Minnesota, and M Health Fairview Masonic Children's Hospital. Donate to Cub Kindness and give kids a chance at a full life. Cub cares. The Go Gopher Podcast is now also sponsored by Head Flyer Brewing, located in Northeast Minneapolis, right next door to campus, with a great vibe, great craft beer, and much more. Head Flyer Brewing is having a game watch this Saturday for the Gopher North Carolina game. Stop by, watch the game on the big screen TVs and the projector TV, cheer on the Gophers, enjoy some great craft beer with great discounts if you wear your Head Flyer Gopher gear, available at Head Flyer. Really cool shirts, check them out. If you haven't been to Head Flyer Brewing, please make a point to do so, and especially this Saturday for the 2:30 kickoff, the Gophers and Tar Heels, it's a game watch at Head Flyer Brewing. Our podcast is also sponsored by State Farm agent Tony Hoagland at ChamplinInsurance.com. Tony's a big-time Gopher fan. We're podcasting episode 87 from the Aquarius Home Services studio. We invite you to subscribe to our Go Gopher podcast. It's free to do so. You can go back and listen to the Go Gopher podcast from previous weeks. Last week, for example, on our episode, we welcomed Gopher star receiver Daniel Jackson. He took us through that amazing toe tap catch. It's well worth the listen. We also spent time with volleyball star Melanie Schaffmaster, who told us why playing a tough schedule is important. This episode, we're talking Golden Gopher football with big-footed kicker Dragan Kesich. He's next.
How much can you save when you shop Cub? Let's just say you might need a bigger cart. We've lowered prices so you save more. On Essential Every Day, it's easy to see the savings. Across the aisles, from pantry products to frozen foods to delicious dairy and more. Your family will love it, guaranteed, or your money back. Shop Cub and save today. My Cub, my way. See store for details.
I'm Clay Geary, walk-on turned scholarship wide receiver for Gopher football.
And I'm Ben Utek, U of M alumni, Super Bowl champion, and Tony Dungy Uncommon Award winner.
We understand championship culture, which is why we're part of the True North family of companies.
True North invests in only elite teams, like the champion team at Sunbelt Business Advisors, Minnesota's largest seller of companies. To learn more about True North and our diverse family of independently owned companies, visit TrueNorthEquityPartners.com.
It's episode 87, the Go Gopher Podcast with Mike Grimm, and my pleasure to welcome back to the show, a return visit, Dragan Kesich, the left-footed kicker for the Golden Gophers. We had fun last year. I'm glad you're back.
I know. This was probably one of the most fun times I've had talking on a podcast, so I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, and when we talked last year, one, people got introduced to you that maybe hadn't heard from you before, and everyone was impressed with your personality and your background and your story, and we'll rehash some of that because not everyone listens all the time. But at that point, you were the kickoff guy. And
Correct.
A lot of people were like, kickoff guy? How good of a story can he have? And you had a great story.
Yeah.
Your story now has evolved because you're not just the kickoff specialist, you're now the field goal specialist as well. And it's evolved to the point where you're booting the ball, you're impacting games. Of course, opening night had to be something unbelievable to kick in your first, you had kicked in a situation in a game before, but your first real game as the starter, so to speak, as the field goal specialist.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been on the field a lot, but and you boot the game winner.
Surreal moment. That moment. That's what kickers dream of, is a nice walk-off field goal with zero seconds left on the clock. And I remember it was right before Nubin's pick. I go up to Croft and I'm like, hey, be ready. We're gonna have to hit something here. Whether they go down the field, hit a field goal, but Tyler Nubin did Tyler Nubin things, gets that pick. Could have cribbed it.
Yeah.
If he didn't stumble, I think he would have cribbed it. But then he picked it, and I'm like, okay, here we actually have a chance here. And then it would have been like a 58-yarder, I think. And then Sean Tyler busted one up for 11 yards. And then I just remember running on the field. I don't know why I remember this so vividly, but I ran on the field and I looked to my right, and there's a Nebraska fan stormed the field.
Yeah.
And I was like, is anybody going to get him? And no security or anything went after him. He's just running around on the field. And then finally in Nebraska, like a team member motions him over. And then I'm like, all right, I got to lock in. Then they call a timeout. And I'm like, all right, they have no more timeouts. We're hitting this one. And then I hit it. It went through. And
the second it hit your foot because you Tiger Woods did.
Yeah.
You gave the fist bump. I loved it.
Yeah.
And so from where I'm at calling the game, oftentimes I'll either watch the crowd behind or the kicker because they know. Because the angle, you really can't see what it is.
No, not at all.
And so oftentimes if I see the crowd for a home game doesn't react, and I'm like, oh, it might not go. And then you wait, and then the ref gives the signal. So I watch you.
Yeah.
And when you hit it, I'm feeling real good about it because you gave the fist bump. So you've practiced in your mind, right, as a kicker.
Oh.
You've that situation how many times? 1,000,000 times probably.
Every night before I go to bed, I always think about just moments like that. Like I always have the one like a game-winning field goal to beat Wisconsin. Being from Wisconsin, it's always like a thing. But like every night before I go to bed, I'm thinking just about through situations that could possibly happen. I've always thought a game-winning kick, so I felt going into that moment I was mentally prepared. And I trust Brady, I trust Crawford, I trust the guys up front blocking, and it worked out. So
it worked, and not just mentally. I'm sure physically you've practiced that in the spring game a couple years ago. You drilled a game winner. Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
Coach Fleck puts the kickers and specialists through a lot of tough situations, which is good because we need to be put in those tough situations. A lot of kicking in front of the team, a lot of kicking competitions, punting competitions. So I think those the periods in practice that he puts us through that really add pressure to us just make situations like that easier. So shout out Coach Fleck.
How nervous were you, though? Be honest. I'm going to give you a little shot of truth serum.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna be honest. I personally, I don't know if this is messed up to say, but I was more nervous on the PAT to tie the game.
Sure.
Because I was like, okay, if I miss this, we're down.
It's over, probably.
Yeah, and then with the one, we were tied, so I was like I was less nervous in comparison to if we were down one or down two.
The situation was a little different.
Yeah, so it was like we were tied, and I would have been way more nervous if it was like we're down one or two, but us being tied, I was still nervous, obviously, but like I was a lot more calm and relaxed and ready for the moment than I thought I'd be.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
you looked very calm. And then you kind of sneaked away, and then Crawford's jumping up and down, and everyone just turns and he drew their attention. Yeah. So you were like all by yourself.
Yeah, it was. We watched the kick in film the next day, and we were watching the film, and Coach Fleck's like, because Nick Callerup, the tight end, picked up Crawford.
Yeah.
So Coach Flex like, Caleb, like, what were you thinking here? He's like, I don't know. I turned around, saw somebody jumping, thought it was Dragan, and it just went from there. But shout out Quinn Carroll for coming to me instead of Crawford. So.
Yeah, he was the guy that figured out the guy that kicked. That said, a tip of the cap, because those pressure situations, weeks with the snap, Crawford wasn't shouldn't have been anonymous in that situation.
Yeah,
anyway,
no,
right?
not at all.
He pushed the boot down, but you did the heavy lifting.
Yeah,
yeah.
But it wouldn't be possible without them two. So. Again, shout out Brady, shout out Croft, because without them, like, if Brady doesn't get the snap back there, if Crawford fumbles the hold, there's no kick.
Yeah.
So I get the glory for it.
It was so fun to watch, and it was a big night. And let's be honest, with 6 minutes left, it wasn't looking great. And then the defense makes some plays, the offense answers, 2 scoring drives, and then you finish it off. So the game's over. There's celebration. Now walk me through how the rest of kind of the immediate evening went, maybe on the field with teammates, coaches.
Yeah, so once it went through, everybody, after they were done with Crawford, everybody kind of moved over to me and was just like applauding me, giving me taps on the head, stuff like that. And then I had a lot of like, what's her name from Fox Sports came up to me. I had to do some thing on the phone for Fox Sports, showed off the arrow a little bit. And then after the teammates were done, we did the song. I forgot the Northern Star. I don't know what it's called, whatever. And then I met up with Coach Fleck, and then he started like shining my left shoe. I saw that.
What was he doing there?
Yeah,
he was shining your foot?
Yeah, he was like shining my foot, and I was like, come on. But it was awesome. It was a great experience. I mean, I hope every kicker gets to experience something like that, because that was truly something that I'll never forget.
Yeah. And then did you, your family, were they there?
Oh, yeah.
And afterwards, so take me through after, once you shower and
yeah.
And head
So
out.
I was a little late behind because we had to do media afterwards, but I run out there and they were still there. And my dad I've never seen my dad cry. And there's a video on Twitter of I forgot who recorded it, but it's a video of my mom and my dad. And then the kick goes in, and then my parents start cheering. But instead of hugging each other first, my dad hugs some guy to his left, and my mom hugs some dude to his right, and then they finally hug each other. But when I met with him after, I'd never seen my dad cry, and I was like, dude, this is crazy. This was something that hit deep in the family. And then I had probably 300 or 400 Instagram followers by the end of the game. I had like 200 text messages on my phone. I had like 200 Snapchat. Like, it took me till like 5 a.m. to go through all these
just
notifications.
figure it all out.
And like, I felt bad not responding to anybody, so I responded to everybody.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
So we had Daniel Jackson on last week, and I asked him about, did his phone blow up? And he said yes. And then I said, who, give me an example. And he said Calvin Johnson hits him up. Did you have anybody, any famous person? Because the thing was, that's a Thursday night prime time. There's 3.5 million people watching.
Yeah. I had Pat McAfee. I mean, he didn't DM me, but he posted the video on his story.
And he's a special teams guy, right? Yeah.
Special teams legend. So when he posted that video on his Instagram, it was pretty surreal. I'm like, Pat McAfee just put me on his Instagram account, and I thought that was really cool. So yeah, I'd say Pat McAfee.
Yeah, so cool. And then so you get all of that, and then how did the week after go? Because now you're the hero. Was practice just back to normal then, or was there still some, like, you're walking on cloud 9 for a while?
I think when I woke up the next day, I was kind of still walking on cloud 9. I'm like, this doesn't seem real. And then I got to the facility, and everybody's like cheering me on and stuff. And then I think the following day, I was finally like, okay, I can stop watching the videos now, because I was watching the videos like all day. So I was like, I could probably stop watching the videos now and then focus on Eastern Michigan. But yeah, I definitely feel like that day after, I was still on cloud 9.
So good. Now you, we've watched you in practice enough. You do have a little natural draw on your kick. So take me through what you have to do in that situation, or in any situation. I'm sure you're watching wind, and from the left hash, here's what I have to do. And that's why when you hit it, you knew. Because honestly, when you watch it, when you first hit it, it's outside the upright, but you know that this is how it's going.
Yeah, it's just like knowing your ball flight. And from the left hash, I kind of aim more straight because just of how I swing across my body in comparison to the right hash. The right hash, I got to aim a little more left because kicking mechanics. But that spot we hit like in pre-practice a lot. Crawford and I, for some reason, will hit like 48-yard field goal, a little deeper, but like we always pick the 48-yard field goal to before practice starts. So we're pretty confident in that spot. So when we got there and I took my steps, I'm like, why does this feel so familiar? And then after, when I was watching the videos, I'm like, we hit that spot at practice.
Every day.
Yeah. So it was like we were literally training for that moment. And it showed up when we needed it to. So
so everything gets done. You come out then the next week, and you're called upon a couple of shorties, and you drill it, and you're feeling great.
Yeah,
right.
It was. I never really thought in a game I'd get a 19-yard field goal, a 20-yard field goal, and a 24-yard field goal. I mean, an 18-yard field goal is the shortest you could have in a game. So having a 19, a 20, a 24 is pretty weird. But going from having like a 47, a 54 to having those short ones, it's like, that's the first time I've ever had anything like that in a game. So it was, cool to get it done for the boys. And now on to North Carolina.
I have to go back too, because you mentioned that it was going to be if Tyler gets stopped the line of scrimmage, no gain, lossy, whatever, it's going to be a 58 to 60-ish.
Yeah.
And I asked PJ on the coach's show the last week, I said, you handed it off, so you must have felt like, he's like, we were going to kick it no matter what. He goes, I felt good. He said, we had talked and we thought that, maybe even out to 63 if it was a situation that could win the game.
Yeah.
So you were feeling good from wherever it was?
Yeah, because there really wasn't too much wind. If anything, it was going right to left, but pre-game, I was hitting some longer ones. It was feeling really good. So, whatever Coach Wanger and I talked about, like what we're feeling comfortable from, and then whatever they needed me to do, I was willing. If it was 58, I was willing to hit a 58 yarder. If it was 63, I was willing to hit a 63 yarder. So, and I was confident in myself that it'd go in. So that's that.
That's that. And does a kick like that? I know you have confidence anyway, but does it boost a little too that now you validate all this work?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was because, like you said, it was like my first game as a starter on field goal, and never did I think the first game would come down to that. And it was. Trickett texted me afterwards, actually, and he was like, congratulations, so proud of you, stuff like that. And I got to credit a lot of my success to Trickett because he's so technically sound when it comes to kicking, and he's helped me through a lot in becoming a better field goal and kickoff guy. So having that moment in my first ever game, like I said, pretty surreal. But I feel like I was prepared for the moment just because all the work I put in. It was good to see that work come to fruition. So
yeah, I had Trickett written on my sheet here to ask you about him, and now your transformation from kickoff specialist, where you led the country in touchbacks last year, to now adding that role. And I was going to ask you, and you kind of hit on it a little bit, what it was like, waiting your turn, but also progressing and trying to soak it all in, so that when your moment came, you were ready. And you mentioned Trickett, so he was helpful with all of that. Yeah,
it was because obviously as a kicker you want to do both, but when I got here, it was kickoff specialist, and then I can credit Brock Walker a lot because Brock Walker helped me a lot of mechanical stuff. And then once Brock moved on, and then we brought in Trickett, I was like, obviously I was a little bummed because I'm like, hey, I'm compete with I think he was first team All MAC, MAC kicker of the year and stuff like that. But in hindsight, it was a blessing in disguise because he taught me so much. He elevated my game to the next level, and I owe him so much. So
what kind of stuff, if you want to share?
Yeah, he taught me how to because when you do kickoffs, so when you hit a field goal, you're using more groin in comparison to when you're doing kickoff, you're using more quad. So it's all foot position. So he taught me how to, because before when I would hit field goals, I'd have a tendency to hit my kickoffs like field goals, where it doesn't get as much distance. So he was teaching me how I can go from field goal to kickoff. He helped me get my kickoff steps right. Like you see in my kickoffs when I go 10, 4, and then I do those diagonal steps. He taught me all that. He got me right on my field goal steps. So literally, he helped my game tremendously. Wow. He's a wizard when it comes to this stuff. So
is it just him coming up through his own kicking training in schools? And helping you with that.
Yeah, so he went to a lot of the same kicking camps I went to, but he retains the kicking information a lot better than I do. So being able to have him there and work with him every day and watch film together. Sometimes he'd even come to my apartment and him and I would watch film together. So it's I don't even know the word of how much he helped me. Yeah, because it's tremendous.
It is kind of cool how life does things. Like you said, maybe you were a little bummed because you want to kick, and then as it turns out, it probably makes you a better kicker that he ends up here.
100%. Like I said, it was a blessing in disguise to have that man here for 2 years because I learned so much behind him. So
So the last regulation game-winning field goal was 20 years ago, 2003. Reese Lloyd hit it against the Badgers at the Metrodome, which was the great it's one of the great walk-off videos of all time. You've probably seen it. He kicks the field goal, and then he leads the charge to get the axe, hurdles the bench like Mr. Hurdler, athlete kicker guy.
Yeah.
And then he gets the axe out of the, and I think they were doing, they didn't always charge the field. I don't want to say that maybe started the charging of the field, but it's the first time I remember where that became the deal. And I think after that, the guys on the other side were like, okay, if you're going to storm us, we'll storm you, and back and forth. And there have been 2 game-winning kicks, I believe 2, since then, but those were, and I'm not saying but, like they were lesser field goals. They were overtime winners where the defense gets a stop, offense has it, or you exchange field goals or whatever. And the Gophers have been on the wrong end of that too. I think Colorado State, Santoso kicked a game winner, and at UNLV, there was an overtime game winner. I forget even what year that was, out in the desert. Jordan Wetstein got a game winner. And there might have been a couple more, but I think those have basically been it. So it doesn't, Trickett was the kicker for a while. Emmett Carpenter never had a real true walk-off. Yeah. Santoso had one against Rutgers with like 10 seconds left maybe, and a long one, a 50-yarder against Purdue with a minute maybe, give or take. Yeah. But to walk it off, kick it off, so to speak, there haven't been a lot of them. I mean, you don't get that chance, so it's amazing that it fell to you in game 1.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in college. This is my 4th season, and that's the first walk-off field goal I've been a part of in college. I was a part of a walk-off field goal in high school, and I missed it. So I've been on both ends of the spectrum here. So
yeah, wow. No fun on the other end of that. But, man, when you can experience it this way. Our guest is Dragan Kesich. I want to talk a minute here about one of our sponsors of our Go Gopher podcast. They sponsor our player profile, and we thank them for that. Affinity Plus is your local credit union, proudly serving Minnesota since 1930. As a current Gopher student or proud Gopher alum, you're eligible to join a financial that wants to build a meaningful banking relationship and put you first. You can meet with a local employee at any of their branches statewide, including right off campus in Minneapolis. To learn more or find another way to connect, go to affinityplus.org/Go Gophers. That's affinityplus.org/Go Gophers. They have a top-ranked mobile app that is. You can track that down as well. Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA, and they're going to have a special announcement next week. Keep an eye on it for some new agreements with some Gopher student-athletes for name, image, and likeness. And as part of our Go Gopher podcast and in their support of Gopher student-athletes, each one of our guests here during the football season gets $100 for appearing here on the Go Gopher podcast, a $100 gift card courtesy of Affinity Plus and their support of Gophers and Gopher student-athletes. We're with Dragan Kesich, the hero, one of many heroes. You think about it. You got Newbin, you got Wally, you got Athan, you got the running backs, you got, who am I forgetting? Daniel Jackson with the toe tap. How could I forget our guest last week? He's got some merchandise out too at the Dinkytown Athletes. I mean, you look at the picture. That's a still shot, and then they kind of turned it into. It looks just like the Jordan logo. It's just a sweet sweatshirt, a hoodie, T-shirts, what have you. DinkytownAthletes.com if you want to check that stuff out.
Yes. You
got your stuff yet?
Not yet.
You got to find some stuff, man.
Not yet. They're working on a design right now.
Are they?
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, we'll keep an eye out for that as well. So North Carolina this weekend. You earlier had mentioned on to North Carolina. So mentally as a kicker, each week goes and comes, and here we are. Looks like a good weather day. That's when you're in your kicker, you prefer that, right?
Exactly. You want a nice sunny, no wind day.
What as a special teams guy, how much do you scout? I mean, the field's 100 yards. The goalposts never change. They're always in the same spot. Does it matter what stadium you're at?
No, not really. I mean, it just depends on wind, I guess. So, like you never really know until you get there. You won't know till game time, until how much wind you have to play and stuff like that. But like scouting, I'll text some buddies like who've played there, ask them about like if they've seen anything, if they've noticed anything. But I'll watch the kickoff returner sometime to see what kind of tendencies he has. But other than that, no.
Yeah. And have you done that yet? I know you mentioned you have a punter buddy from Virginia Tech who's played there.
Yeah. And so I texted him. He said he played in 2020. It was really nice. And then he played there one other time, and it was like hurricane wind because it's like a hurricane warning or something. Yeah. So I'm going in with kind of an open mind, not really knowing, but I'm gonna go with I think it's supposed to be a nice day. So yeah, I guess like I said, we won't know until we get there.
your pregame routine then to understand, again, given the weather situation, the wind direction, whatever else, what is that like for you?
So like when we first get to the stadium, we go out there, I'll throw like turf in the air just to see which way the turf's blowing. But then after I warm up and once we go out there, I'll kick like a certain amount of balls each way just to see how the wind's playing. In our stadium, it's hard because like the flags on the uprights move a different way than the American flag, and then the American flag moves a different way than the flags all the way on top of the stadium. So it's just about knowing your surroundings.
Don't give those secrets out either.
Yeah.
PJ said he has his secrets. You probably have the same one.
Yeah.
But he refuses to tell because he doesn't want the other kicker to know.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah, we got some secrets that we don't tell anybody. It just stays in our room. So that's for them to figure out.
So you'll go in and kick both ways. Do you and you feel comfortable at a certain distance? How much does weather then play a factor on? Okay, like the other night against Nebraska, you felt good, 63, or let's say.
Yeah.
Could there be something where, man, today with this wind, 50 might be it?
Yeah, there could definitely be winds like that. I remember last year at Nebraska, or not Nebraska, Northwestern, the kickoffs going one way, I was landing them at the 10.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Kickoffs the other way, we're going out the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. Like one way you could be good from 50 and the other way you can be good from 65.
Yeah.
So it's just about going into it with a game plan and letting coach know how and where I'm comfortable from in each direction.
Is there, now that you have both duties, how much time in practice throughout the week does that change, or if at all? Because you were working on field goals anyway.
Yeah, I would say it's roughly the same amount. Coach Wanger does a really good job of making sure we're on the bodies and making sure we're feeling good. So I would say it's about the same, roughly probably like 2 or 3 times a week before game day.
Now, when I go to practice, I watch, and the offense is working. Sometimes it's 7-on-7 drills, and you see Ethan just firing the ball all over to all his receivers, and the linemen are doing their blocking, and the linebackers are tackling, and the defensive backs are doing their thing. Sometimes it's 11-on-11. Sometimes it's third down. Sometimes it's, what have you, short yardage, 2-point conversions, name it, they've got it.
Yeah.
What do you guys do?
We're off to the side a little bit, depending on if there's a special teams period coming up. We're getting ready for that, helping on the dots. But if we're outside, we'll go into the old indoor and we'll do our work in there. So we have more room and we're out of the way of the rest of the team. So we'll get in there, we'll kick, we'll punt, we'll snap. And then once there's a special teams period coming up, we'll go outside, get ready for that, and then we'll go back inside and then we'll do more work.
Yeah.
So it looks like we don't do anything, but we actually do stuff.
Oh, yeah. I would think you got to go through the reps. But is there also a point at which you don't want your leg to get too fatigued?
Because it's like if you think about like a baseball pitcher, you don't want to pitch it all the time. So we kind of go in there we won't necessarily hit balls all the time. We'll do more like this thing called mark steps, where you put a piece of tape on the ground and then you take your field goal steps, and then your goal is to hit that same piece of tape over and over, just so you have that muscle memory. So we'll do stuff like that where balls really aren't in usage. So
what is the how many would you, maybe you don't know the number, a week, how many field goal attempts do you think in a week would you practice? Because at some point you do want that timing and the mechanisms all second nature.
Yeah, I would say so probably 4, 8. I would say up to game day or including game day.
Let's count. Let's just do practice.
I would say probably close to 40 maybe.
During the course of the week?
Yeah, during the course of the week.
Can you feel, have there been times like, okay, hey, I should be kicking maybe a dozen today, but the leg, we better just practice the steps?
Yeah, there's definitely days where it's like you're hitting, you're like, ooh, the leg's kind of tired.
Yeah.
And then you take it easy, do more steps and do more like ball contact stuff rather than swinging full through the ball. You
mentioned like pitchers now, so they go out, they throw 100 pitches, they dump their elbow and shoulder in a bucket of ice. Do you ever ice the leg?
Oh, I'm in the ice tub all the time.
Are you really?
Constantly.
And that helps, you think?
I think it does. Could be a placebo, but I think it does help. I'm in it every day. I truly do think it helps.
You just go crawl in it? It's not just your leg, your whole body?
Oh, no, whole body. You gotta go chest in the tub.
Because there's people, even if they're not kickers or even athletes, that now there's some, I don't know if there's studies, but there's people who, that's become kind of a trending thing that people just jump in an ice bath.
Yeah, I see it all the time on I don't use TikTok, I use Instagram Reels. So I see it all the time on Instagram Reels, and I see like cryotherapy and like cryo chambers and stuff. I never tried that. I feel like that's too cold. But a nice cold tub, a nice 8-minute cold tub can.
And you think that just helps the muscles?
I think it just gets. I don't know if it like constricts the muscles, gets new blood flowing. I don't know what it does, but I feel good afterwards. So it's good.
And then the holder is, as we mentioned, Crawford, and it's kind of cool because his parents are in town. Of course, he's from Australia. We've had him on the podcast as well.
Yeah.
If you want, and we'll probably have him on at some point this season again. Just if nothing else, just to hear him talk in his Australian accent, which is awesome. But I had chatted with him. I think it was it wasn't Friday, I guess, but the Fast Friday practice the day before the Nebraska games. That would have been on that Wednesday, and he was so excited. His parents had never seen him play football in person because they're in Australia. They watch, I suppose, in the middle of the night, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe. Anyway, but they've been doing this whole trek. They were in Toronto. They're going to New York, I think, and North Carolina, and
they're doing everything while they're here. And it was kind of funny because they came here to watch Crawford punt. And last game he didn't punt. So
that's true. I didn't think about that angle.
So, but they've been going. Now they're on their way to New York now. North Carolina for the game. And it was nice meeting them because Crawford's always on FaceTime with them. And then when him and I are together, I introduced myself, so it was finally nice seeing them in person. So.
Yeah, and you guys, because you're hanging out a lot, the team's out of one area, and I know that you're one of the popular guys on the team, but I would think that because you're around those specialists, and there's other kickers, and there's other holders and snappers, and I know they got guys waiting in the wings for their turn too.
Yeah.
How close are you guys? I mean, how's that camaraderie?
Yeah, we're a pretty tight-knit group. We like to do a lot of stuff together. Specialists, we like to golf. Brady Weeks, Jacob Lewis, and David Kemp are pretty good golfers.
Yeah.
Probably some of the best in the team. But yeah, our camaraderie is really good. We like to help each other. We watch film together. We want each other to succeed. It's not a compete against; it's a compete with kind of mentality. So let the best man win. And whatever I have to do to help Jacob become a better kicker, or help David, they're helping me in a lot of ways, like Trickett. So it's a good group. I know Sham and freshman Caleb, he's coming a long way. Caleb McGrath, Crawford's helping him along the way. So it's a really good group. We got some good talent, and I'm excited for where this group's going to go.
How much do you guys then hang out, off the field and after practice and when you're not at games?
All the time. We're a lot of us like to play Pokemon Go.
Now, that's a video game?
No, it's a
card game.
No, it's Pokemon. It came out in 2016, where it's you just catch Pokemon on your phone. So you'll just I can show you.
You got it. Look at this.
It's Cody Lindenberg, Jacob Lewis, all of us, we just walk around Dinky Town catching Pokemon. And it's the greatest thing ever.
I probably should get involved with this.
Yeah,
it sounds too fun to miss.
So and all these Pokemon appear, and then you just catch them. And
so
then,
this is literally a map of where you're at.
Yeah, of the campus, and then we just walk over there, and you get all these gyms and stuff. It's so fun.
So I, as an older guy, look at that and think to myself, some guy invented that. Now he's worth probably $100 million.
Yeah, because
I need to invent something like that.
So yes, so many people play it because it was a 2016 thing, 2016, 2017, and then you kind of hopped off of it. And then for some reason, we all just hopped back on the grind, and that's all we do outside of football.
It's crazy, you guys. Do you do video games a lot too?
Oh yeah.
And do you play against teammates?
Yeah, a lot of guys like Chris Almond-Bell. He's really good at 2K and Madden. So if you want a good matchup, you go against. That's the guy you want to beat. But Fortnite, Call of Duty, all that stuff, everybody plays with each other.
I love Chris, but my hunch is that he'll let you hear about it when he beats you.
Oh yeah, you won't hear the end of it.
Yeah,
you won't hear. But that's kind of how I am too, because I have that competitive nature. So when Chris and I play and he beats me, it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough.
I want to talk about one of our other sponsors here, and we got a couple of different announcements relating to Head Flyer Brewing in Northeast Minneapolis. It's just a few blocks off of campus. They're with us here for the football season and hopefully longer. Great craft beer with big selection and big flavor. Personally, I got the No Funny Stuff beer. That's a good one. A little on the lighter side. That's my flavor, but there are big flavors as well with the IPAs and the hazy IPAs, all kinds of big flavors that beer lovers crave, I should say. Also pumped about how cool the place is. They've got outdoor seating. They've got a cool vibe, TV, projectors. And this week for the Minnesota-North Carolina road game, they have a game watch. 2:30 is when the kickoff is this Saturday. We invite you to go watch the game at Head Flyer Brewing. They have these cool Gopher t-shirts, the Gopher gear from Head Flyer. If you buy the gear or already have gear and wear it, you will get discounts from the tap room during the Gopher game. Also, October October 5th, a Thursday night. We're going to do a live Go Gopher podcast from there. It's a happy hour from 6 to 7, and then we're going to do the live show from 7 to 8. So mark your calendar, Thursday night, October 5th. That's the week leading into the Michigan game. And how about this? That's the battle for the Little Brown Jug. They're going to have this great special for folks that come watch the podcast in person, a Little Brown Jug that they're going to fill with your favorite beer. They're going to also make a special maroon and gold beer. So it's going to be fun at this tap room, Head Flyer Brewing. Stay tuned. We're going to get you more of those specifics. But for the most part, October the 5th, Thursday night, leading into Michigan, 6 to 7 happy hour, 7 to 8 is the live show. Head Flyer Brewing, we'll have some special guests, of course, some beer specials, and a big night heading into that big game. It's just a mile and a half from the Gopher football stadium. Hey, if you're coming to a home game, stop by before, after, or both. It's a really cool spot, as we mentioned, and as we mentioned this weekend, it's a road game watch, 2:30 the kickoff. Head Flyer Brewing, stop by this week for the start of college football season as it rolls on into week 3. Take a flyer, Head Flyer Brewing.
Hi, Gopher fans. Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on lights, we switch TV channels, we switch on the TV. And with the new transfer portal, some college students even switch colleges, which can seem crazy to us diehard fans. But what's not crazy is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, my agency can switch you over so we can start saving today. My team is ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood and show you it is, in fact, easy to switch and save. When you want the real deal, check us out at ChamplinInsurance.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
All right, we're in episode 87. Dragan Kesich with us, Wisconsin native. We talked about this a year ago. How did you end up in Minnesota?
Really weird story. So, I wouldn't really say that weird, but I was like kind of getting recruited by Wisconsin. You know, being a local kid, they obviously like go after you. So I was going to a lot of games and a lot of game day visits, and obviously Wisconsin was a dream school, you know, growing up in Wisconsin. So when I didn't get an offer there, I was kind of hurt. And then I remember one day my Twitter DM notification with a message from Rob Wanger. And I was like, oh, who's Rob Wanger? And I look, he's a special teams coordinator at the University of Minnesota. And I was like, uh-oh, here we go. So I came out here, I camped out here. Coach Wanger and I talked. He liked me. And I was like, okay. So I went and obviously on the ride home was talking with my parents about it. I did a couple more visits to different schools, like Eastern Illinois, Washington State, Iowa State, that kind of stuff. And then I came on my official visit here. And it was Sunday morning, I had a meeting with Coach Fleck in his office. And before I told my parents, I'm like, I'm committing. So I walk in the office and I'm like, Coach Fleck, I think I want to commit. He's like, do you want to commit? And I'm like, yes, sir, I want to commit. I want to go to the University of Minnesota. And now I ended up here.
Here you are. What what were those visits like in terms of what sold you on the idea?
I mean, playing in the Big Ten is obviously, growing up a Midwesterner, is what you want to do. The campus was love. The school here is great. The team, a lot of the specialists that were on the team when I was on my visit, like Grant Ryerson, Brady Weeks, he was my host. A lot of those guys were really nice on my visit. I mean, I still talk to every single one of them to this day. So there were just a lot of aspects of this school that really brought me here, because it's obviously life's more than football, and there's a lot of opportunities, you know, Fortune 500 companies and stuff like that in the Minneapolis area that really drew me in.
What is your major?
Kinesiology.
So what do you want to do with that eventually?
I want to go to chiropractor school.
No kidding.
Yeah, there's one in Bloomington. So
get some adjustments on the back. Very good. When we talked last time as well, you'll have to refresh my memory. Dragan Kesich, Croatian?
Serbian.
Gosh, sorry.
It's like
about
the same thing, but yeah. Serbian,
yeah. So take me through that. Your dad was from there? Yeah.
So like both of my parents were born here, but then like their parents were born over there. And then once my dad was born here, I think he was like 4 or 6 or something like that. They moved back to Serbia and they were living there. I think it was like 14 years or something like that. Then like the war broke out and then they were forced to move back to the States.
And Milwaukee is where they ended up based.
Yeah, because like Milwaukee, so it's like Serbia, Chicago, and then Milwaukee with like dense population of Serbs. So in Milwaukee, there's so many Serbs. Like literally, like my grandparents, my dad's parents, live within 3 blocks. The siblings, like my grandpa, his brother, his sister, live within 3 blocks of each other.
Wow.
So it's like a really dense Serbian population in Milwaukee.
So did you grow up in a house that spoke Serbian? Is that the language?
Yeah, Serbian. Yeah, my dad, heavy Serbian speaker. With my dad, it was Serbian. And then with my mom, it was kind of like the English. But my mom she's fluent in Serbian too.
Yeah.
So
are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty fluent in Serbian. So I haven't been to Serbia yet though.
You want to go?
Yeah, my brother and I went. My brother and I bought tickets in 2020, and then we all know what happened in 2020.
The pandemic. So the trip was out.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful area of the world, right?
Oh yeah, it's like it's right on the edge of like even if you look at like Croatia, like there's a really beautiful like coastline right there by Croatia and Serbia. So it's something I definitely want to check out because I got family over there. My mom's dad, so my grandpa lives over there. My dad has a bunch of cousins over there. So I wanna get out there and experience it a little bit.
The Gopher women were just in Croatia, the basketball team.
I did see that. Yeah, I was like, thanks for the invite.
Yeah, they could have brought you along.
They could have. I could have translated. I can't hoop too.
Yeah.
If anybody tells you I can't hoop, like Brev or Chris, if anybody says I can't hoop, I can hoop.
Your defense. I asked at the Big Ten Football Media Day. We talked to Ottman Bell, and we asked who the starting 5 would be. Your name didn't come up.
See, he's lying because he told me I'd be in the starting 5.
See,
or
I'd
be first man off the bench.
Yeah.
Do you remember his 5 or no?
Yes. I got to think about it for a minute. It was Christian Hoskins. Mm-hmm. It was Anthony Smith.
Okay.
It was Brev.
All right.
It was Ottman Bell. Who else would it be? Is that 5? Was that 5?
That was 4. Chris, Christian, Anthony, Brev.
Yeah. There was who else would it be? If not you.
Yeah. I would say me. Maybe Corey.
Did I forget? So Brevin, Ottman Bell, Hoskins, Anthony Smith. Oh, it was a freshman.
Max Shikajansky?
No.
Oh.
No, but he put 40 down in the high school game. You know, his dad played hoops here. Mm-hmm. Jim Shikajansky was a hooper here. They did not mention Max, but I would have to think he was an all-state point guard. I would have to think that he. Have you been in games with him?
No, I haven't.
I can't remember who it was. I think it was a true freshman. They were impressed with him. So you'll have to go pick a bone with them now that I think about this. They did not bring your name up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Are you a lefty?
Lefty.
Because I know you're left-footed, but sometimes that doesn't always mean.
Yeah, I'm everything lefty. So except when I golf.
You're a right-handed golfer?
Right-handed golfer.
And that's a little weird because usually kickers are great golfers because of the hip movement, but that hip movement would be totally opposite.
Totally opposite, but that's why I'm not good at golf.
Maybe you should try.
Yeah, maybe
get a left-handed set of clubs.
My dad's lefty with golf, so I try and use his clubs, but I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
I legitimately can't swing that way. It's weird. I don't know.
You scored 100 goals in a season in I almost said hockey, in soccer. I remember you telling me that last year. So you grew up a soccer kid, right?
Oh, yeah, that was my life growing up, everything. I didn't start football until I was in 5th grade, and I never really planned on being a kicker. My dad wanted me to be a kicker, and I was like, no, I want to be like a running back. I want to be an O-lineman, stuff like that. So after I was done with my 5th grade team, there's a draft. And I was the first overall pick in the draft.
For soccer?
No, for football.
For football.
Yeah. But so then I was like, oh, maybe we can do something in this football thing. So I started soccer ever since I was little, all the way up until junior year in high school. I stopped playing high school soccer because we had to run 2 miles in 12 minutes. No chance I was doing that. So I stopped playing high school soccer, but I still played
That was
club.
why you quit.
Yeah, I didn't even show up to tryouts. I said, there's no way I complete that. So I didn't even go to tryouts. And then I started really focusing on football in like 8th grade, started going to camps and stuff, played soccer on the side. The sports kind of flipped. It was more like soccer with football on the side, and then it flipped to football with soccer on the side. But I still love soccer. I wish I could still play it.
Do you ever get out, try a pickup game?
Not really, but like sometimes when I go home, like a couple buddies and I will just go out and like kick the ball around. Just brings back memories.
How far could you kick a soccer ball?
Well, I think pretty
far.
Can you?
And I don't know this. I should know this as a sports fan. Can you kick a football or soccer ball farther? I mean, not you, but just generally.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, it depends. Are we talking college football or an NFL football?
Is that different?
Oh, way different.
No kidding.
Way different. NFL football is way better to kick because it's more like a soccer ball. It's more rounded. It's more condensed. But that's a good question, honestly. I want to say soccer ball.
Yeah, that's what I would.
Part of me wants to say football.
Huh. We might have to go do a test sometime.
I think so, yeah.
Just figure it out.
Yeah, because yeah.
Interesting. You're a big Packers fan.
Oh, yeah.
Bucks fan.
Yep.
Baseball too, or no?
Brewers.
Did we talk about you should have tried to? You were
be a pitcher in high school.
Be a pitcher.
Yeah, but they didn't want me to.
They didn't want you to.
No.
But you think you could bring it?
I think lefty pitchers, they make some good money.
Righties are a dime a dozen. Lefties can specialize and be in the game till they're 40.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the more I look at it, the more I was like, maybe I should have gave a pitcher a go.
Yeah. Brewers are going to make the playoffs, it looks like.
The Yankees won't, so that's good to see.
Yankees won't. Packers knocked off the Bears.
Great start. Shout out Danny Strigo.
So is Strigo?
He's a Bears fan.
He is.
Yeah.
How's that?
I think his mom is a Bears fan.
No kidding.
Then,
All right, we're going to have to ask him about that someday. This is how I get all my inside dirt on you guys. So last year, I'm trying to remember, the Packers started off poorly.
They did.
And you were on the podcast and you said, just wait, they're going to come around.
Yes.
And then I saw you like 5 weeks later. You're like, man, I told you.
Yeah.
And they were so close.
Yeah, I was at that. So they needed to beat Detroit the last game of the season to make the playoffs. And I went to the game. And, of course, they blew it. And I was like, gosh, we were that close.
Yeah. So they let A-Rod walk.
Yeah.
Jordan Love had a good game. Did you watch any of that game last night?
The
Jets?
Yeah.
How about that? 60 seconds, 4 plays.
Yeah, I feel so bad for Aaron Rodgers.
Man.
But funny story. Not really. It's actually really funny. So there's this bar in Milwaukee where if the Jets lose, so like the rule is like Aaron Rodgers has to start, but if the Jets lose, they'll cover your tab. So once Aaron Rodgers went down,
everyone's showing up at that bar.
Everybody started racking up their tabs, and then the Jets came back and won.
So everyone's on the hook.
Yeah, everybody had to cover their own tabs.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So that bar was accidentally genius.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're thinking they're going to get free food and beer, and the next thing you know, that's not the case. I haven't always been an Aaron Rodgers fan. I've certainly admired him as a player, but that stinks.
Big time.
39 years old. He's going to be 40 in the end of the year. That we might not see him play football.
That's what I said. I was talking to Derek LeCaptain because he's also a Packer fan, obviously, and I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if he retires.
Yeah, I mean, because he was close.
Yeah.
He's been like there's 3 or 4 years in a row where you wait and he goes into that dark cave thing or whatever he does to figure out whether he's coming back. So with this Achilles, although the Achilles, as we saw with Muhammad last year, it's not even like 10 years ago. It was a much worse injury, but technology and medicine has just come enough that if he wants to play, he'll be back next year.
Yeah,
but. Boy, that's still a lot, to figure out if you want to do it as a 40-year-old. Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
So how do you think is this a facade here, the first game, or the Bears just that bad, or are the Packers? What do you think?
I think it's a bit of both. I think the Bears are really bad.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure the Packers are like the second youngest team in the NFL, if I remember that correctly. But I think we have some potential. I don't think Super Bowl, but I definitely think we can do better than a lot of people may think.
The division might be there.
It might be, you know, Vikings L.
Yeah,
sorry about that.
That's probably one of their more winnable games on the schedule for the Vikes. What's it been like as an NFL guy or fan to be in Vikings country for these years while you're a Packers fan?
It was tough. We went to during fall camp. We went to the Vikings game and we had to wear like a shirt that said like Skull Vikes or I forgot what it said on it, but I wanted to wear it inside out, but I couldn't. Cody Lindenberg him and I always chat to each other about like Packers and Vikings and stuff like that. So
Lindenberg, I'm assuming, is a Viking.
Oh yeah,
he's a Viking.
Yeah, he's a Viking.
He's
a Viking.
All right, tell me about your hair here.
Oh yeah.
So that showed up on TV in that interview, which was great.
So it started last year when
I should describe it. So is it a green tint? Would you call it?
I mean it's kind of fading now, but it was blue like Avatar arrow.
Yeah, so it almost looks like you painted on a mohawk.
Yeah.
And then on the front it's an arrow.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So how did this come about?
So it started in last year fall camp. I just buzz cutted my hair. Buzz cutted, I think that's the word. And then bleached it blonde. And then I showed up to practice one day, and Coach Fleck's like, "Hey, you should paint something on it. Like it's a blank canvas." I'm like, "All right, you're right." So I painted some like flames on it last year, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's so cool."
Yeah.
Then I had Crawford like cut it into a mohawk, and then we did like polka dots on it. And I was like, "Okay, so that's where the mohawk came from last year." So then this year we're like, "All right, we'll switch it up a little bit." So I bleached it again, and then I did smiley faces first. There was a bunch of smiley faces on my head, and then after that, because of Pokemon Go, I had they drew a Pokemon on my head. So that was for week 2. And then Quentin Redding and I last year talked about me getting the Avatar arrow. And I was like, I'm not going to do it. And I was like, you know what? We'll get it this year. So Crawford bald the side of my head, shaved the arrow into it. and then that's that.
And is that just like a hair color?
Yeah,
dye?
just hair dye, hair paint.
So it's fading a little.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get it repainted for the game.
A brand new painted arrow.
Brand new painted.
Same color?
Yeah, same color.
Yeah.
I kind of I'm debating on if I cut it or not because it's kind of grown out right now, and so it's a pretty tough decision that I'm gonna have to make.
These are the things that you have to maul at this point.
I don't know.
Are you 4 or 5 years here now? This is
year 4.
So how you mentioned kinesiology, because some of your teammates have been here 6. I mean, Chris Altman's been here. Bell's been here 7.
Bell.
You know, I know Bo. I talked to him. He's going to have a master's, I think, at the end of this semester.
Yeah,
if I remember right. So where are you? And what do you have for eligibility then? Do you have
this year and then one more.
And one more.
Yeah.
So you'll be back next year. And will you be able to pursue a? Because there's 2 ways you can do it. Because like Tanner was like, I'm taking one class, man.
Yeah.
You know, he had his degree and he was ready.
Yeah.
Or others would, there's free chance for a master's degree.
So I'll graduate in spring, this coming up spring, and then I kind of haven't decided yet if I'm gonna start my master's or if I'm just gonna pull a Tanner and just take like one class a semester.
Yeah.
So that's I should probably start thinking
Figuring
about
that out.
Yeah.
Well, it's fun either way, and hopefully. You know, I mean, what if you rip off like, 20, 50-yard field goals and you're, 34 for 35 or something, and at that point you're like, who needs the Masters? I'm going to the NFL, right? Well, that'd be a good problem.
Oh yeah, that'd be a great problem.
That'd be a good problem. Well, it's been fun watching. It's been great watching you also just kind of develop as a team leader and as a guy that the team kind of gravitates to.
Thank you.
And let's go get another one in Chapel Hill this week.
I like that. I like that idea.
Sounds good. There he is. That's Gopher kicker Dragan Kesich. My thanks to him for joining us on episode 87. I hope you enjoyed hearing from him as much as I did. Episode 87 is presented by Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. If you're buying or selling a business, visit sunbeltminnesota.com or tnma.com. We're also partnered with Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union, a locally member-owned full-service financial invested in you. You can learn more at affinityplus.org/Go Gophers. That's affinityplus.org/Go Gophers. They also sponsor our player profile. Cub has joined us as one of our primary sponsors here. It's the official grocer of the Gophers. Everyone deserves a chance at a full life. Join Cub, the University of Minnesota, and M Health Fairview Masonic Children's Hospital. Donate to Cub Kindness at the register and help kids live healthier, happier lives. Thank you for making a difference. Also, welcome aboard to new sponsor Head Flyer Brewing, located in Northeast Minneapolis, just a mile and a half from the stadium. Stop in for great tasting craft beer tonight. And don't forget, Head Flyer Brewing is a pregame and postgame Gopher football option for home games. And this Saturday for a road game, it's a game watch. Minnesota and North Carolina, special discounts if you're watching with your Head Flyer Gopher gear on. Great gear, great beer. We're also brought to you by State Farm agent Tony Hoagland. Again, I'd invite you to listen to past podcasts, and please click that subscribe button right now to the Go Gopher Podcast. It's free to subscribe and free to listen at any time. And share the link to the podcast with others so they can subscribe and listen as well. We'll talk again next week.